going to work on some fundamentals that we use with our quarterbacks at Brigham Young University to help develop our passing game. It is our strong belief that regardless of the level of play for the quarterback, whether Pop Warner or Youth League, junior high, high school football, or college football, fundamentals of any position are the most important thing you can work on. We'll start from stance, go to hand-eye coordination, go through our drops, go through the drills that we use every day here at BYU, and try and show you how you can incorporate all those things into any program at any level. I'd like to introduce to you the players that are going to help us with this film today. First of all, our center, Keith McCullough, quarterback Robbie Bosco, and quarterback Blaine Fowler. The first thing we're going to talk to you about today is stance. We teach our quarterbacks at BYU to take a stance where his feet are as wide as his shoulders. We want a slight bend in the knee and stand as tall as possible underneath the center. Here we have two versions of a stance. Blaine up front, giving a poor stance, head down, feet in a duck-like position, shoulders down. Robbie tall, the way we'd like him, head downfield, knees slightly bent, slightly pigeon-toed, feet about shoulder width apart. The next step in the progression is taking the snap from center. Once you have the stance, we talk about our pressure hand. Robbie's a right-handed quarterback. His pressure hand is his right hand. He exerts pressure on the center's crotch so the center knows where to snap the football. His left hand then is his catch hand. When you're putting the hands together, you want your thumbs together and a full extension of the fingers to create a great pocket for the center. That pressure is very, very important. You also want a slight bend in the elbows, so when the center pulls away from the line of scrimmage, you can ride the center and get the exchange. Here we have Robbie working with the center, and we get a close-up of his pressure hand. When teaching young men to play center and quarterback and teaching the exchange, we have the center just set the ball up there very slowly so they know where the pressure hand is and they know where they want to put the football. We then, the next step, we bring in the catch hand, the left hand, and still set it up there very slowly. Any adjustments that have to be made for laces or pressure or sliding the hand farther in are made at this time. You see we're adjusting them to the laces, and now we're ready to take the exchange full speed. The next step in the teaching progression is getting the ball away from the center. Here you have Robbie taking the snap from Keith McCullough, and what we're trying to have him do is bring the ball from the center exchange into his belt and up to his armpit. It's very important that once he gets the exchange, he comes into his belt, whether it's a running play or passing play, that he does not swing the ball. Fumbles take place when people swing the ball. Again now, from his belt to his armpit, watch his push-off on his left foot. Again, we're setting up the drop-back pass here. If it was a running play, the same emphasis would be there. From the center to the belt. Blaine Fowler will now take a couple of snaps. Little different feel for the center, but again, if you're consistent with your pressure hand, any quarterback can come in and take the snap from any center. The next step in the teaching progression are our drops. At BYU, we go 3, 5, and 7-step drops in our drop-back passing game. Here, Robbie's going to demonstrate our 3-step drop or quick series. It's very important if you watch his plant step or third step, it's to the right side of that line. 1, 2, plant, throw. The same technique will be used if he goes to his left. 1, 2, plant, throw. That third step allows him to open his hips and get the ball out to the receiver quickly. Robbie will now demonstrate our 5 quick step passing game. This is just an extension of the 3-step. Again, the 5th step will be to the right side of that line. There it is. Throw. Again, throwing to the left. Same technique. Watch his feet. That's why it's important during your drop drills to work on a line if possible. Here are some examples of the quarterback footwork in action.
So much when it's light like it is now, because it's not having an
If you watch his feet,
on the field.
the quickness of his feet will determine what happens downfield most of the time.
Making a sure-handed catch. See Robbie just staring.
Blaine Fowler will now demonstrate our 5-step and a hitch drop. What we're trying to do is get a little more depth off the line of scrimmage with the quarterback to coincide with a little deeper route downfield. That hitch step is a gather step. It allows the quarterback to get his weight underneath him and throw the ball on balance. The next drop we have is a 7-step drop, again to coincide with a little deeper route downfield. Blaine will now demonstrate the 7-step drop. Watch his balance up, watch his hitch. That hitch allows the quarterback to get his weight underneath him and get his momentum going downfield. Here are some game sequence to show footwork by the quarterback in those two types of drops.
Mark Bleedy down there making a sure-handed catch. See Robbie just staring right down.
Watch Robbie balance up.
And he just sees him turn and lets it fly. Great, great play.
First and goal for Brigham inside. Bosco back.
If you'll notice, we teach two types of drops at BYU, the crossover technique and the back pedal. Here's an example of the back pedal by Robbie Bosco.
Back to pass. Swings it over to Heimuli. Heimuli down the sidelines, 45, down to the 40, and down to the...
When we get young men in our camps, we're a little bit reluctant to change their motion, but the quarterback's motion is vital to what happens downfield. Now, as Robbie drops back to pass and he gets the ball in the throwing position, go ahead, get the ball, Rob. Okay, it's very, very important from this position that when he gets ready to throw, he does not drop the ball lower and swing the ball around. He has to go from this position where we have him carrying the football on his drop straight up and throw. Otherwise, we get a swinging motion and it takes too long to get the ball downfield. All right, now once the quarterback gets in the throwing position, the ball at the armpit, now where the arm and where the ball goes from here is very, very important. As we saw earlier, Robbie didn't waste any motion. He came straight up from here very slowly, and then when he went to release the ball, his elbow leads the ball towards the throw. Let me show you that again. From the armpit, ball up, elbow, leads the ball through the throw. The next step on that, once we have led with the elbow and followed through, is we tell him thumb down, pronate the wrist. Let's see if Rob does that one time. Elbow out, pronate the wrist. One more time. Elbow out, pronate the wrist.
One more time, you did it.
One of the most important drills we do at BYU is what we call our reset drill. This is where the quarterback will drop back in the pocket and step to his right or his left and then deliver the football, regardless of how good your protection is. Oftentimes in a football game, the quarterback has to do this. It's very important after he resets that he balances up and makes the good throw. Sit, go. If you notice their movement, the key here is getting their feet back underneath them and keeping balanced. One more time. Sit, go. Very good. Here are some game sequences that show a reset by the quarterback.
Conversion rule. We'll take another look at how Vic Mills scores his touchdown. Had to play behind Hudson for last year here at BYU. You see Glenn, number 7, coming across, pulls his arms back in.
Either man could have caught the ball.
That's right. And a big tight end.
Back to throw, good protection.
The drill we'd like to show you is called our hot drill. Oftentimes our quarterback has to throw the ball quickly, off balance. It's important we practice this technique. What Robbie's going to do is start any sort of drop that I tell him to. 5-step, 7-step, any drop that we have. When I clap my hands at any time during that drop, he is to get up high off his back foot, extend his arm, and dump the ball to a position where our tight end or running back or hot receiver would be. Sit, go. Very good. Let's try it again. If you notice, that time I clapped, I caught him in between strides, and he wasn't able to get off his back foot, but he still extended the arm, got it nice and high. I think we would have completed the ball. Sit, go. There was an excellent example of the quarterback extending himself off his back foot and throwing the ball hot. Gripping the football obviously is very important to how the quarterback plays. We try not to fool around too much with his grip. We want the grip to be comfortable. The first thing I normally do is just throw the football to the quarterback, see how he grips the ball, and if we're throwing spirals and completing passes, we don't talk about it too much. However, oftentimes it is necessary to maybe change the grip of the quarterback. Now, if you look at Blaine's hands, these three fingers have a lot of the lace. Not everyone carries the football or grips the football that way, but it's comfortable for him. One of the important things, I think, and should be fairly consistent with anybody playing the position, however, is this index finger. This index finger has to be towards the point of the football. That's the last finger that touches the football on its release, and it has a lot to do with the guiding of the throw. Another key thing is when he grips the ball, if you can see this in here, there should be space between the ball and the palm of his hand. You don't want to get your palm flat on the football. It's very important you throw the ball with your fingers. The next drill you're going to see is called our progression drill. Here the coach stands behind the quarterback and points to one of the receivers. When the quarterback drops back to pass and looks either from his right to his left or his left to his right, or whatever the progression is on a particular route, he delivers the ball when the receiver raises his hand. Again, the coaching points on this drill, you're watching the quarterback's drop, you're watching his feet. Here you'll see Robbie throw one to his left, see him move his feet. Very, very important. The next drill you're going to see is called our flush drill. Oftentimes the quarterback has to break the pocket during a football game, and it's important that the receivers react to that. Here you see Robbie dropping back to pass. The coach is downfield giving him a signal, right or left. He scrambles out, and the receivers react accordingly. One more time, the quarterback scrambles to his right. It's important that the receivers try and keep some sort of separation. Here you're going to see some game sequence showing Robbie flushed out of the pocket.
Now passes it over to Smith. Smith to the 45, to the 50.
It's important, if you can, to watch how the receivers react to the quarterback movement.
Back to throw is Bosco. He's chased out of the pocket. Now throws the ball deep downfield, and it is down at the 30-yard line. Down to the 20-yard line.
First and 10, 45-yard line of Brigham Young. Bosco looking.
This is not a technique that happens by accident. It's something you must practice.
He may score. 20, 50, 10, 5, touchdown, BYU.
The next step in our teaching progression is a quarterback working with a single receiver. We begin every practice session with this. Here the quarterback working with the offensive running back. We're coaching depth, we're coaching drops, we're coaching reads and reactions to the running back, all in the same drill. Here you see two bags. Spacing and separation is vital to our passing game. It gives the quarterback and the receiver a place to go. The next step in the teaching progression is working two receivers, a wide receiver in this case and a running back, in different combinations. Again, you're teaching separation, so one defensive player can't take two of our offensive players. And at the same time, you're again working with the quarterback on his drop, on his release, all the fundamentals we talked about earlier. Here's another one. Notice the spacing. That time you had a high-low spacing. We'll see the same pattern again. The next step in the teaching progression is to work all 5 receivers, again working on spacing but against no defense. Those bags out there simulate where defensive players could be. Here we have 2 quarterbacks throwing at a time because one of the things you try and accomplish at practice is to get as many throws in as possible. We feel repetition really helps us in developing our passing game. Again, you're coaching all the fundamentals we talked about earlier. Here, working separation and spacing with 5 different receivers. You can go through every pattern in your playbook this way without having any defensive people to work against. At Brigham Young University, we as coaches pride ourselves on being teachers. It's important on every play that I talk to the quarterback about why he did what he did. Coach Lance Reynolds does the same thing with the running backs. Coach Norm Chow does the same thing with the wide receivers. And our line coaches, Roger French and Mel Olson, do the same thing with the linemen. It's very important to us that we dissect every play so our players understand fully why we're running a particular play in a particular situation. After working hard on fundamentals all day, we as coaches come together and run our team against the defense we're going to see that week. It's very important the line, the running backs, the receivers, and the quarterback are all coordinated in this offensive effort. Every year, we as coaches set very high goals for our offensive football team. But as Roger French, our offensive coordinator, has said, through hard work and dedication, we can achieve those goals.
We hope this film that you have seen will help you in the development of your quarterback. Over the past number of years, we've had a rich tradition of quarterbacks at BYU. They have had, among other traits, character, intelligence, a good arm, good footwork, and proper fundamentals. In order to have proper fundamentals, you must work at them each and every day. Proper technique in any form of playing and coaching football is extremely important. The drills that you see in this film are the same drills that we use each and every day in the development and the training of our quarterbacks. I know that if you will apply these same drills and these same techniques, that if you give the same amount of attention to teaching proper fundamentals, that you too will be able to have a high level of proficiency and execution with your quarterbacks. A sound passing game has a combination of pass protection, of throwing, and of catching the football. With this thought in mind, our offensive coaches have likewise put together a pass protection film called the Pass Protectors. So the Pass Protector film, along with the quarterback technique film, would be 2 films that will help you to develop a sound passing game and to help you in the development of your offensive football team.
Looking, set, throws way deep, has a man there, it is a touchdown! That's Kozlowski. Bosco to throw, looking for a TD, he's got it. Adam Hayward. Hayward about 3 yards into the end zone, running into the offensive line, right there. Those look like it's very bold. Those guys. Bradley fires in the end zone, touchdown! To Bellini, great catch by Robin yard line. Boston to throw, the rush is on, throws for the end zone, has a man, TD. Adam Hayward got it. Looked like they were trying to move 3rd and 6.
Bosco evading a potential tackler, firing, caught. Touchdown, BYU, Kozlowski in the end zone.
Bosco rolling out, looking downfield, throws it back to the right, but they set up the screen, and is caught by Mills, 40-35, down to the 30, back inside to the 25, to the 20, it's a foot race, down to the 10, he's going to score, and I don't see a flag.
What a play by David Mills. He outran about 5-6 guys. Looks like he's going to pull that well. He's back against the ground.
Bosco to pass, the rush is on, gets it up. Hey, Mooley catches at 5. Will he score? He does! Hey, Mooley's in there. Did they have the blitz on? Looks like it, Steve. 1st and 10 on the 31. Robbie to throw. Throws it under pressure. Has a man there. Mills catches it. Touchdown.
There's a holding flag, Jay, and I'm not sure what it is. It might be defensive holding, and I'm pretty sure it is. And I'm sure the touchdown will count. We'll have to see what exactly yeah.
Well, BYU says it's a touchdown. He's back to throw again. Chase looks, throws for the end zone. Touchdown! Not playing. Boston looking.